Early in the morning,
What's going on, the people? Them, it's your boy Cam Topical Juice, and we are back with another video for you today. As you can see from the title, we are back with the Diddler, one of the most evil villains in the music industry currently, one of the top nonces. Yeah, we're back with a nonce expose. Now, don't get it twisted. He may be one of the cruelest, most foul, most evil people we've ever come across, but he ain't the worst. Let's get this straight right now. The music industry is full of Diddies. Jay-Z is next. Mark my words, Jay-Z is next. And I'm going to do a video on Jay-Z soon, actually. I did a video a while back on Patreon exposing Diddy's allies, and Jay-Z was one of them. I think it's about time I deep dive into Jay-Z as well, because he's next. But anyway, these music executives from Clive Davis, Andre Harrell, to Lucien Grange, you think these lot weren't doing free-offs while Diddy was in his diapers, fam? Who do you think taught Diddy these things? They've been doing freak-offs. Diddy just took it that next level further of really making it known. That's what he was known for, partying and getting freaky. That's what he's defined by, guys. It's weird. So as you can see from the title, there has been, like, I even need to read this right, 120 new victims. Guys, this is insane. This is generally Jeffrey type, like, trafficking here. Do you understand? Like, this is real big. And as I said, Diddy is a true monster, and I believe every victim, or I believe 98% of these victims, right? But he's taking the fall. The only reason these billionaire executives or these people in government are letting him take the fall is because they need him to take the fall. That's why no one else will really go jail for him. No one else will go jail with him. It doesn't matter how much ammo Diddy's got. I believe they've got their guy. They'll use Diddy as a scapegoat. Even though he is a monster and he's done all these things, he ain't the only one. This is a network, guys. I've been exposed to BBC's PR ring. I've been exposed the Hollywood nonce ring. This is an entire trafficking organization. It's a ring. So guys, if I can just ask you to press that like button, it means the world to me. I'm back. I finished my work campaign now. I ain't doing UK tours. I can get back to consistent YouTube regularity. So let's get back into this. Like the video for me, hit the bell to be notified. I'll be dropping videos anytime, anywhere. If you like me, you like my content, please do consider pressing that subscribe button. Please do tune into my Patreon videos. Last week's Patreon video was all about exposing another nonce who loves 15-year-olds out of his own mouth. Fact, Andrew Tate. And I think this weekend's video is going to be about 6 signs of an emotionally abusive relationship. So I'm switching it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break down Diddy's UK allies soon. That was going to be a Patreon video, but you know what? I'm going to drop that on YouTube. So when you see that video, guys, me exposing the UK artist that F with Diddy, I want you to really run that video up. Hit the like button on that one, share it, because we need to hold these people accountable. And unfortunately, one of those people is one of my favorite artists of all time. But that's how you know I'm real, because I hold the people that I love or care about or support accountable. So an article reads, in bombshell allegations, an additional 120 victims have come forward to accuse nonce Sean Diddy Combs of SA over a span of a quarter century, 25 years, with several underage victims, including a 9-year-old among them. The claims were made by a Texas lawyer, Tony Busby, who announced he's representing 120 new victims who he believes have legitimate cases against the rapper turned media mogul. Now, I'm going to stop right there real quick. There's 2 things I want to highlight here. The first thing is about the underage girl. Remember, when we looked at, I never actually broke it down, so apologies, I never got around to doing that video, but I spoke about it on my YouTube live. The indictment from the feds when Diddy got arrested, it didn't mention no minors. And that was the thing that was weird to me. I thought, we know Diddy likes them young. This ain't just about trafficking girls or bringing prozzies over across state lines to party. This is deeper than that. It has to be. Because at the end of the day, those prozzies were getting work. They were probably happy. They weren't being trafficked. The crime comes with the fact that he's forcing his guests and victims that he's partying with to do things with these sex workers and all that stuff, drugging them and getting them in compromising positions and using the footage that he's got to blackmail them and coerce them, all that stuff. That's a crime. There was no mention about underage kids. I thought, this is weird. We've actually seen the footage of young girls. We know what he's been accused of. Where is that? So I'm glad now. Well, I'm not glad because it's very, very sad and awful news, very traumatic. But I'm glad now that they're fleshing out the case. And the second thing I wanted to mention is, obviously, it's one lawyer representing all of them. So some people may think, oh, that's a bit fishy. It should be like, if it's multiple lawyers, that means it's more real. We see this a lot, guys. When there's a huge case against one big person, there's multiple victims, it's not uncommon for one lawyer to represent them. And we'll see, yeah, that he admits that he did weed out the fake ones. He actually, I quote, he actually says that. My initial reaction was, what? Surely 120, surely not. But actually, when I sat there and thought about it, I thought, Diddy's been active for decades. In fact, it's probably closer to thousands. As long as you've done your due diligence and you're weeding out the ones that are fake, then I can get behind this. And as we go through the article, you can see that he believes that these cases are all legitimate cases. And he actually gives specifics soon. Of the 120 new victims, 25 were underage when the alleged A happened between 91 and as recent as this year. The youngest victims were 9, 14, 15 when they were victimized. The high-profile lawyer announced at a press conference in Houston Tuesday. This individual, who was 9 years old at the time, was taken into an audition in New York City with Bad Boy Records. This individual was SA'd by Sean Puffy Nancy Combs and several other people at the studio in promise to both his parents and to him of getting a record deal. So this is a young boy. How many times have we seen that in Hollywood? How many times have we seen that associated with Diddy? You do this for me and I will get you to higher places. When that female lawyer walked into his office one time years ago and a male artist was sucking him off, and she said to him, this is what Jaguar Wright exposed this. She said to him, Diddy, why did you keep the door unlocked? Why didn't you lock it? He said, I can do whatever the F I want. It's about power, see? If I can make a man suck I can make anyone do anything. So we know what Diddy's on. He's doing the same thing to 9-year-old boys. I'll get you a record deal. I'll promise you this, this, and this if you do this. Bro, what kind of power is this? What kind of power does he yield? It is sickening, guys. Crazy work. Other boys were there to audition as well, Busby stated. All of them were trying to land a record deal. All of them were minors. Diddy's legal team reacted to the new allegation shortly after Busby went public. Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he SA'd anyone, including minors. We've seen you in pictures, bro. Combs' lawyer, Erica Wolf, told Daily Mail, he looks forward to proving his innocence and vindicating himself in court where the truth will be established based on evidence, not speculation. However, the promise of fame was leveraged over multiple child victims, Busby claimed. And another man had told Puffy that he would make him a star, but he needed to visit him in private about it away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly, Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral on him. Thousands of calls with fresh accusations have flooded the lawyer's firm since federal prosecutions announced a federal indictment against Diddy and arrested him last week. An individual, 15 at the time, flew to New York to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room allegedly in the presence of Diddy, where this female individual minor was raped and then other individuals took turns raping her. We have heard this. It all aligns with Lil Rodney's lawsuit and Cassie's lawsuit. It aligns with all of Diddy's old videos. It aligns with other celebrities talking about Diddy parties. It all aligns. All the lawsuits said that he loves to use like Ket, he loves to use 2C, he loves to give you drinks and shots with stuff in them. He also likes to he said this in an interview in like 99 or 2000, it's imperative that you put the temperature up so it's hot in the place. 1, so people get naked, and 2, because when your body temperature is hot, it means you get more fried. Yeah, they should. It's a fun fact that you should be careful how hot you have a shower when you're either drunk or hungover, because when it rises the body temperature, it can make you feel more sick. I learned that because I've partied too much in my life. Yeah, no Diddy parties, but I've partied a lot in my life and I've drowned my sorrows away. So I knew that fun fact. So it's little things like that. Like, I'm fucked up into rehab and all sorts. I know all this stuff, but it's just mad that Diddy knows this stuff, and he knows it. He knows it for nefarious reasons and dark reasons. I know it because I'm traumatized. He knows it because he's a manipulator and a narcissist and a cruel individual, a monster. Working with law enforcement, the lawyer said many of the accusers have been weeded out with non-credible stories. However, at least 120 new victims will file individual cases against Diddy and possibly over others. Many of the new victims had previously told law enforcement that they had previously been A-worded, including some who cooperated with the FBI. So they had been told the feds. That means they're more credible. Many have medical records that prove they had been raped or drugged. Drugs were found in their system. Weird drugs. Drugs that you've probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine or tranq, which based on our research is known as a horse tranquilizer, similar to ketamine. One individual who was 22 at the time she was A-worded said that the typical MO at these parties was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know the drinks were laced with something, that if you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. In another disturbing case, an adult pregnant woman claims she was raped after attending a group dinner with Combs in Miami. She wasn't drinking because she was pregnant, but whatever she drank at the table, apparently it was laced with something. She blacked out. This is a pregnant woman, by the way. She blacked out and she woke up in the same bed, again, allegedly with Sean Puffy Combs in his mansion in Miami. We know he's got a mansion in Miami. Her private parts, both the front and back, were torn and sore. I could go on. And literally, you're sensing a theme here. A hotline number for other potential victims in bold, red font was directly behind the attorney as he pleaded with others to come forward. If you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is great strength in numbers, the lawyer said, speaking to potential victims who have yet to come forward. Busby added that many of the cases will be filed under pseudonyms to protect the victims, with the vast majority being filed in courts in New York City and Los Angeles. Now, is it true that some of these victims may just be looking for a payday? It is true that could be a possibility, but I've always been one of the people that stands up to victims. It's much safer to believe a victim than not. Yes, people can lie. Yes, it's not every victim is 100% a victim and tells the truth. We know this. But statistically and factually, of course, the majority that come forward are, especially when you've got someone who's been accused of victimizing over 120 people, fresh victims. So imagine the thousands that haven't come forward. Now, when it comes to pseudonyms, I do wish they would use their real name, but at the end of the day, I can't blame them. That's their trauma. If they don't want to use their real name, then that's up to them. That's their prerogative. I just feel there's a lot more strength in using your real name. You empower other people. When you share your story, your true, authentic story, with your authentic details, it empowers others to come forward, join the forces with you. At the end of the day, if we're dealing with Diddy here, he is a monster. He's got the capabilities of taking you out. What do we know about Kim Porter? He took her out. Now, I must have come across a Murad Merali video. Now, I haven't watched Murad Merali in a while. He's made a real comeback, you know, since his scandal last year or the year before. Boy, he lost like bare followers. Now he's shot up to like 330 or something, 340. He's back. People have forgotten all about that scandal. But he posed a real interesting video about Brittany Murphy. Now, I remember Brittany Murphy from 8 Mile, you know, the blonde girl that Eminem was with in 8 Mile. I remember when she passed. And I remember thinking, this is weird. I was young, but I also thought, this is random. She was young, what happened? I didn't even realize she died from pneumonia. Exactly the same thing that Kim Porter died from. And guess who else died from pneumonia? Brittany Murphy's partner. They were based, it's actually crazy. It's crazy. Now, I'm not gonna go into the whole video now about why Diddy's linked with that. But it links to Ashton Kutcher, it links to all of Hollywood. We know I exposed Ashton Kutcher in my Diddy's Ally video. I've been known Ashton Kutcher was at Diddy's parties years ago. You understand? I've been knew that. So it's crazy how deep the rabbit hole goes. This random pneumonia. And in the video, Murad actually makes the point, and he does a bit of research. He actually says that baby oil can cause pneumonia-like symptoms. Now that was interesting. I didn't know that. Now I just assumed obviously the 1,000 bottles of baby oil was to do with obviously the free coughs. But why does one need 1,000 bottles? Like 10 bottles would suffice for 1,000 people. Like, I don't know, 100 bottles will suffice for 1,000 people. Like 1,000 bottles. Could it be that those bottles are used for nefarious reasons? AKA if you inhale enough of it, or if you liquidize it, or if you do something to it, do some science whizzy lizzy, could that poison you? Who knows? All of these, you know, pneumonia can be caused by chemicals, guys. I've been exposed that in my Patreon videos. So I don't blame a lot of these people for having pseudonyms. It is a crazy, crazy story. It's just nuts, guys. Like what? It's nuts. It's nuts. 120 new victims, and the details of them: a pregnant woman, a 9-year-old boy. Diddy does not care. He doesn't care who you are. Gay, straight, it doesn't mean nothing to him. He is literally a, what do you call it, like an egotistical megalomaniac or whatever the word is. Like, Donny is a genuine, like he is truly a real psychologist's dream. His psychology is dark, very, very dark. It's not just narcissism, it's other very deep-rooted evil traits. But as I said at the very start of this video, he's the fool guy. The only reason he's going down is because the people at the top want him to / need him to. They need him to because, one, he stepped out of line and needs to remind his place when he started suing Diageo. Yeah, and they had to remind him, you ain't the big dog. We may be working with you for time. You may have helped our Ciroc brand, but we're the ones that put you in positions of power. Don't you forget that. All them Masons at the top there, don't you forget that. And they're making an example out of him, because if he goes down, they will paint Hollywood. They'll paint a picture that Diddy was just a monster. He was just the lone monster, the sole monster. Why do you think celebrities are mute? Why do you think every celebrity is mute? No one's come out apart from 50 Cent to call out this guy, because they're all in on it. They were all at the parties. That's why they've all been deleting their tweets, from Usher to Pink. CEOs have been stepping down from Starbucks or whatever. Randomly, CEOs have been stepping down. Some guy from Columbia Records, who's a public defender of Diddy, or Atlantic Records, one of them. Yeah, one of them. As in, what's happened since Diddy's been arrested has been crazy, guys, in terms of the fallout. People just silent, deleting tweets, and it's because they don't want any association with what's about to be exposed. But guys, it's too late for that. Whatever's in the dark will come to light. It must. So it's going to be very interesting what we see from here. Stay tuned for this Patreon video about emotional abuse on the weekend. Also, stay tuned for this UK allies of Diddy video. I'm gonna try and do my research and do and it's not expose, but draw links and comparisons with all the UK artists. You know, I can give you an insight. Gigs, obviously. Central C has been seen with Diddy. Dutch Valley has connections with Diddy. So I'm gonna see if I can find any more people who have been linked with Diddy in the past from the UK, and we're gonna talk about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, they should be speaking up, and they ain't. No one is. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you lot at the next video. Most importantly, stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. What the hell would I know, man? I'm just a man in his 20s. Peace.